Hello, hello. Hi there. Welcome to another very special episode of Taco Clock.
Taco Clock? This delicious Taco Clock.
Burrito Clock. No, that's Will Wheaton's thing. Talk Clock. This is a very special episode. It's the previously announced board games. We've been shopping quite a couple of board games a few weeks ago, and you just have to watch back to some other vlog episodes where we said, yeah, they are just too much to put into one episode, so we're gonna have a special gaming episode, which is now to be recorded. My dear husband, hello? Which are the games that we are gonna discuss today? You are allowed to read from the list on the lower screen of on the table.
From the souffleuse.
The souffleuse. I've got a tablet down here where it's like a second screen.
Our very important notes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just to backtrack, when we had a friend over from the States, at one point we went to our local game store because support your local game store, and then pretty much decided to grab all the Spiel des Jahres nominees for this year, at least for the regular Spiel des Jahres prize. So there's, if you're not familiar with that, the Spiel des Jahres has 3 different categories. One being the main Spiel des Jahres thing, the game of the year for those non-Germanic speaking. Then there's the children's game, the Kinderspiel des Jahres, and then there's another one called the Kennerspiel, which is meant for more experienced players.
Yeah, like advanced players,
it's
right?
like, I don't want to say that very heavy, very dry Euro games, but those you typically tend to end up in that category. And last year it was Legends of Endor, I think. Was it last year?
Yeah, that was last year Game of the Year.
And Spiel des Jahres was Hanabi, I think, and Kennerspiel, so experienced players game, was Legends of Endor. I don't even know what the children's game was, but we don't have that one.
Maybe we have and just don't know.
No, I don't think so. I glanced over it. It doesn't matter. So we went in there, and for this year, the 3 nominees were Concept, Camel Up, and what was Splendor. So these are 3 very different games, and I'm somehow surprised that some games didn't make the list. So on the
Rampage,
the honorable mentions list says Rampage was in consideration, and I think Rampage got a lot of prizes this year at different other conventions. So I'm surprised that it didn't get into the.
I wonder how they decide, or what the criteria is to be on the list.
Well, they have a jury that decides.
So if I'm in the jury and I say I like this in this game, I can put it on the list.
They have a jury.
That's all?
4 or 5. I think you can actually.
Are they industry people?
You can read that up on. I think Spiel des Jahres is something like a club.
Okay.
And they may appoint people, but it could be journalists.
Because especially this year, I have to just chip in. I'm confused by the choices on the list, especially not only the games that are not on the list, but the games that are on the list in comparison to the coolness of the games that are not on the list and that are generally received well by customers, gamers, like Rampage. I was really, really surprised when I compare that to Camel Up. I wonder why Camel Up is on it and Rampage isn't.
It's a family game.
So, yeah, Rampage too.
Yeah. Well.
And
I mean,
I don't know,
different
but
people
it's just interesting.
different tastes.
Yeah.
But we don't want to spoil our impressions right away.
No, because we're gonna describe every game experience.
Just to note, so these three are in the nominees. Other honorable mentions, I'm surprised it didn't make through, was Love Letter, the German release, which
awesome game.
Although Love Letter is out in the US and in Japan for quite some time now, it was officially released in Germany on last Essen. So it would have been considered for Essen. Anyway, so these are the three we got, and then also a bit more because that friend of ours said, "Hey, I think you guys would enjoy this game with those superhero type folks called Sentinels of the Multiverse." And
great game.
Sorry,
again, I love it.
Not getting ahead of ourselves.
No.
I heard of that one and saw references made to it, so I was aware that it's considered to be good, but we never got around to play it or picked it up, or I didn't even take a closer look at how the mechanics worked. I just assumed that it's some kind of co-op card game with superheroes, which it is, but
there's much more to it. Than just that.
There's more than just that catchphrase.
Also, when it comes to co-op games, we bought another co-op game which reminded me of Pandemic. It's called Flashpoint.
Yeah, that's the second suggestion.
Yes, and there, once we talk about that game, I will chip in my 2 cents for that, and it's all positive. Don't worry. And last but not least, said friend from the US
had to pay us to stay here.
Who's a real sweet guy because, and not only because, but also because he brought a copy of Ghost Stories White Moon, which is out of print and out of sale in Germany, and it costs a shitload of money to import it from the States or some other country. So he was kind enough to smuggle it in with the luggage, and I have to say, front up, and we're gonna discuss that in detail, this is my favorite expansion of Ghost Stories, and
That's the only one we've played so far. We haven't played the other one.
From the looks of Black Stories, the other one, it doesn't look as interesting as the White Moon.
I think it does, but it's
like we sometimes are we're having different opinions or different preferences of certain game mechanics.
Don't knock the game before
No. I will enjoy it, and I will enjoy it a lot. But I think White Moon is my favorite. I like the basic game too, but with White Moon, it's
good.
I really love
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, that. Yeah. Anyways, so these are the games that we're going to cover. We're not going to cover the other game that we bought the same day because we already, and now he's thinking, which game did we buy? Well, we did not really buy it. It was a gift from my parents for us because it was Children's Day that weekend. And in the eastern part of Germany, where I come from, you not only have Mother's Day and Father's Day, but also Children's Day. So we got a little gift, which was one of the expansion packs of Dixit. And I see what you do with the eyebrows, and it's distracting. Yeah, so we also bought one expansion pack of Dixit.
Which we also haven't played yet.
Not the expansion pack, no. But I think we're going to do that next...
we're not allowed to play it. Well, I mean, it's Dixit.
It's Dixit, right. It's another artist. The artwork, again, is gorgeous, but totally different from the main pack, I'd have to say. And I think we're going to play with the expansion pack when we play with your parents and my parents, like the concept and the Dixit. I think that's a good combination for one gaming night with our parents. So,
shall we
breathe. With which game do you want to start?
I'd say let's go for the Spiel des Jahres things because as you might have noticed, we are not super thrilled about all of them, but there's
I like them.
Yeah, they're good.
But some are excellent, and one is it's nice, but it's nothing that thrills me or where I beg him after dinner, like during our usual gaming time frame. Honey, can we play this game? Can we play this game? I don't bug him.
So let's start with the one we've only played once, which would be Camel Up.
Twice. With Jim we had 2 rounds, but just one day that we played it.
So Camel Up is a really if you would imagine a family game, Camel Up would be the perfect kind of family game. It's like very luck based. Everybody can win, so you don't have to do any really deep strategic decisions going on. And the entire purpose of the game is you have camels running around a racetrack. They're literally doing just one round on that racetrack, and you start betting on those camels who are in the lead, who are not in the lead, and you get points for those bets you do. However, it is entirely unpredictable how things end up. You can sort of influence what's going on by placing little things that either increase the speed of camels that get on that space or decrease the speed. But since you can't really influence which camel goes when first or how far, it is entirely luck-based. Which is fine for, as I said, for a family game. If you, let's say, Yahtzee is also very luck-based and has just a minor component of strategy to it. And that's pretty much same with Camel Up.
I think... The game would be... It's not perfect for our kind of gaming group. Or just for the two of us when we are sober. Because... No. Here's the thing.
What do you mean, sober?
We strategize automatically. Even if it's just a luck-based game, for some reason, we even with Domino, we count how many 5s are out there and stuff like that. So there's always this component of strategy in our minds.
I also strategize when drunk.
Hold it. Can I finish my thought?
Sure.
Thank you. So what I think is either play it with kids, or you are just
or drunk.
Yes, that's what I was going for, but not with the kids drunk. Just if the two of us, I think.
Get the kids drunk.
No. I think you and I, if we would play this game, just the two of us, I think we would find it more hilarious and the time well spent if we had too much wine in our system to play, like, I don't know, Zombicide or Sentinels, just to be like real blurry. Then we could play Camel Up, and I think we would find it funny and hilarious and time well spent. But like, that's why I said sober. When we're sober and just in normal gaming mode, I think this game is just too simple for us. It doesn't have enough story to it to cover up the simple game mechanics, and I think that exactly this combination is not the greatest way a game could play, just for us specifically. I think it would be even funnier if we played it with my parents, because they're a totally different type of gamer.
I think Camel Up gets better with more players. And
if you don't strategize. I think we ruined the game. Three
well, no, it's not really strategizing.
No, but we thought too much between our moves, and we really counted. You could see in Jim's face, you could see how he would count. Okay, if I do this, I do this. I think you take the fun away if you do that. But we, as hardcore board gamers, do that, and we can't really not do it when we're sober. Or not intoxicated with other medication.
But that's the same way you would play King of Tokyo. So I don't think that's... I think First of all, as I said, we only played this for 2 rounds, which is little bit on the light side to have an ultimate opinion of the game. But I think it benefits the more players you have playing, and the more lively the discussion among the people who play is, the better it gets. It's one of those games everybody should be shouting at each other. Oh, my gambler is on first, and I'm betting on this one, and you go, and he's not winning. Oh, I'm a poor person.
We didn't do that. There was not much interaction between us players, which I think would loosen up in that goofy kind of way if you either are at a party or you have, like I said, just a certain amount of alcohol in your system or other medication that just makes you goofy. So if you were at the dentist and got your wisdom teeth removed, it's the perfect time to play the game afterwards. Because it's hilarious when you are in that kind of mood and if you don't strategize, but if you're just being silly.
Although I wouldn't go so far to call that a game to get out when you're having a party.
No, I mean like a birthday or or with the kids.
I think this is a really great game if you're having like 2 kids and parents
it's light.
And maybe grandparents or something.
Yeah.
So I think it's up to 6 players.
If I remember correctly, 5 or 6. Yes.
And we played it with Bob? Was Lucas still?
No. It was just Jim, you and I.
Oh, okay.
So we were just three,
which might explain why.
Yeah, and all of us are. I hate the term, but I say it, hardcore board gamers, and
also hard chili gamers.
And again, there is this moment where I don't like you, but I adore you.
Don't worry. We are just hot peppered gamers.
Now I have a dirty image in my head. I don't want to have this mental picture now. Anyways, I think we just ruined the fun of the game by the way we play.
Yep.
But anyways, I think it might change. I could very well imagine playing it with my parents and my mom really poking you and being son-in-law, my table is
great game for children.
Or mothers-in-law when they're like my mom, where you don't know how old she. Well, age is just a number with her, really. So, anyway.
So great family game, not so great party game. But what is a good party game?
Concept.
Getting us to the next one.
I love it.
It
took us a while to get into it.
Yeah, the first time we played Concept. Fair to say, we played that with a mixed audience of German and English-speaking folks.
Bilingual is difficult with the game,
and that made things difficult. But stepping back, what's it about? Concept is essentially like similar to a game like Pictionary. You have to describe things using pictures, or as the name implies, concepts. However, you're not drawing those pictures by yourself, but you have a playing field that has a lot of icons, and they look very much like app icons on a phone or on a tablet, and they all have that style to it, where one icon could mean this is a male person, this is a female person, this is a real person, this is an imaginative person, and so you can narrow down what you're trying to describe by putting little markers and blocks on there to describe what you're going for. So you could say, I have to describe something that you can eat, that is a fluid, and the color is white. So you string together different things, and then somebody else says milk. And so in theory, the game also comes with a scoring system, and that's, I think, why our first play wasn't so great with it. This isn't really... Concept is a bad game. It is, in terms of a game, it is a bad game. Because it's really difficult to get excited about getting points for describing something or guessing something in that environment. What I mean by that is, so the idea behind it is two people at least team up together and they draw a card, choose an item of that card and try to describe that item by using those concepts. And the one who guesses that correctly gets 2 points, and the team that described that concept also gets 1 point. And the entire rules say, yeah, in theory, those two people who describe it have to leave the room or get away and discuss how they are trying to present this thing with the concept they're doing, and then get back to the table. And even if you're playing like that, everybody will be asleep because
or leave the table and don't come back.
Yeah, there's also no time restriction on the game, so somebody could theoretically keep on going and going, and the game just says, yeah, and if nobody's really guessing it, you can take another person onto that team, and then you leave the room again, and then it's
too complicated.
It's a bad game. It is a great thing, like in terms of a toy or experience to have. If you just say, okay, throw out the entire thing, let's get something either to drink or to eat, and everybody draws a card and tries to describe one of the terms on that card, and everybody else just tries to guess it. That's fun in itself enough, but that's not a game. At least not in terms of a game.
No, but the challenge is not to score the points, but to... Like, the challenge between us now is to describe an item on that card with the least amount of concepts possible. Like, I have, like, a rush of adrenaline when I only use one concept with two meeples. Meeples, actually. Cubes, thank you. Cubes, also known as meeples. To describe something, and I don't have the whole board covered with the maximum 5 concepts, like 1 main concept and 4 sub-concepts, and all the... Okay, pause.
Hallo? In
the challenge...
3, 2, 1, cut!
The challenge...
Editing!
Yeah, I'm so good at it. The thing that is kind of like a challenge between us, and that gives like the same adrenaline rush as a scoring system, is that we try to describe a thing with the least amount of concepts possible. So you have 1 main concept and 4 sub-concepts where you have like an exclamation mark or Fragezeichen? Question mark. Brain. With colored cubes, and you try to like explain that concept with exactly these items or these game tools. So I really love it when I just have to go for the main concept with maybe 1 concept, or even just with the main concept, and he guesses it like right away because I'm so good putting down the cubes in the right spot. So you have like a rewarding system thing subconsciously in place anyways, so you don't need the scoring system of the game.
Yeah, but even that, there's no surefire way, because some of those things you have to describe can be as simple as I said, milk, but they can also be a phrase which just need more cubes than other things. So
I find it difficult to describe a taste, like sour or sweet. There's no way to put it down there.
But
so I find that difficult.
I haven't seen terms or any words that use sour and sweet.
Yeah, no, something that describes distinctly that thing. So that's that's the only thing. But you know, we played this game with his mom and his uncle at gaming night, and we like the stack of cards that has 9 items on each is like this big.
No.
This?
Or this big.
No.
It's not.
No, it's big. It's big. It's the whole box.
It's not that big.
I'm gonna measure it and enter the exact.
This big.
So we played through the whole stack with his mom and uncle. So that was the game that we played longest with one gaming group that we have.
It's a great way to get a glance on how somebody else is thinking. I mean, by nature, we humans, not unlike you, internet people, we humans like to.
You talk to silence? I don't talk to silence.
Was it the Russian silent?
No.
So we are all somehow thinking in patterns and putting things in boxes or concepts, as the game says. But it's interesting how that is way different from. So we actually had to play a couple of games and agree upon how certain things are communicated, because there's nothing that really limits how you use those cubes or in what constellation. So there is a thing where you put out a marker and then you add more information with little cubes to that marker. So let's say we stick with milk. I could then say, okay, I put my marker on something to eat and then put it on fluid and then on white. But it could have put it on something. It's a fluid, it's white, and then put a cube on it can be eaten. Or I could say it's a fluid, it's white, and then create a new subcategory by putting another marker on like an exclamation marker on something like it's coming from an animal. So I just put it into an animal, and then there's even an icon that says from inside of. So you could say it's coming from an animal and inside of that animal.
Pea. No?
White pea.
Goat's pea white.
So there's a wide variety of interpretation to that. I would say it's a nice toy or a nice exercise in communication, and it can certainly fill up an evening, and it is very entertaining. But it is not a game, it is not a game.
Not a classic game.
Yeah.
It's like for me it is a mixture of Pictionary, Taboo, and Dixit.
Yeah, but all those other three games have a clear winning condition.
Yeah, but I also have fun playing those games without winning condition. So that's not the case for me with other games, for example. Like Trivial Pursuit, I need the the winning condition there.
A very clear winning condition has our third. Now I'm really in giving you segues one after another. It's like pick up the ball and go for it.
Do you want to go for Splendor or Flashpoint first?
No, we go for the Spiel des Jahres nominees.
Okay.
As I said
that's
approximately
totally
29 minutes ago.
That's totally Splendor.
Splendor.
I like it. It's a nice game. That actually, I think that game belongs on the list.
Yeah,
of the Spiel des Jahres. It totally earned it.
Yeah, I think I saw reviews and they said Splendor is a game that does nothing new or nothing different than other games, but what it does pretty well, and I have to agree. It's nothing where you say, "Wow, that's a
totally new concept." Oh,
that's a mechanic I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
That's it's a nice, thinky game, and also.
And the parts are gorgeous.
Not very interactive in terms of players with each other, and not very communicative. So, what's it about? The idea is you're a merchant for jewels, and you acquire those jewels by spending more jewels
or gold.
So the game comes with a variety of poker chips, like really nice, heavy.
Well done.
Nice to hold poker chips that have different symbols and different colors of the different gems that you can have. I think there's 4 or 5 different gem types, and then
it's
gold.
White, blue, green, red, and brown. So that's 5 plus gold is 6.
So 6 different types of gems.
Smart ass.
And per turn you have the option to either take chips in different quantities depending on how many are still left and what you want to do. You can also reserve a card and come into cards and on and get a gold chip, which is sort of a joker, which can be used for every color. Or you can buy a card. So the play field consists of 3 rows with I think 4 cards, or it's
4 cards each, so you have 12 cards in total.
4 cards per row, and each card has a price. Let's say one costs 3 rubies, so you have to have 3 red to buy that card. And if you bought that card, it gets into your own play area and then counts as a gem or as victory points in addition to being a gem. So let's say there's something like you can buy a sapphire that costs 3 red. So you try to get 3 red poker chips. And the next turn where you have 3 red poker chips, instead of doing anything else, you can decide to spend those 3, put it back into the bank and acquire that card. And from now on, that card counts as a permanent gem for further purchases. So you start on the lower line, which is generally cheaper, but has no victory points attached to them, or very rarely has victory points attached to them. And then in row number 2 and row number 3, the cards start to have an additional number on top, which is the victory point count. And the game ends as soon as the first player reaches 15 victory points.
Also, by the way, you can buy a card or get a card blindly, like from the stack of the cards of each of these 3 rows. You don't have to buy the open cards, which gives it like a mystery and a luck part to the game.
Yeah, so whenever a card is bought, it is immediately replaced with a new one from the stack. And when you reserve a card, you can either take it out of one of those who are lying there and put it into your area, and now you're the only one to purchase that card. You can hold a maximum of 3 cards. You cannot discard cards, so if you reserve a card, it sticks with you until you buy it, and then you can replace it with something else as long as you have 3 or more cards. And somebody is now watering the table with coffee.
I don't know. It's just the water.
As Sarah said, you can also reserve a card blindly from the stack.
If you feel lucky.
And in addition to that, once you reach a certain set amount of gem combinations,
cards, not the poker chips, though.
Yes, with the cards, there's some lords and ladies running around who might go to your favor if you have their combination of gems they're looking for. So on top of all those cards, there's a little like strong paper. What's it called?
Cardboard.
Cardboard paper. Cutouts of lords and ladies who also have gems on them in different combinations, something like 4 red and 4 blue. And the first player who has 4 red cards and 4 blue cards in their play area, at the end of their turn, they will get a visit by that lord or lady, and so that gets placed in their play area and counts also as victory points.
Yeah.
Generally, I think 4 points.
3 or 4, it depends. We had some with 3 and some with 4 points, depending on the difficulty of the card combinations that you have to get the visit of said lord.
So the question there is, are you spending a lot of gems to buy very cheap cards to then in the late game be able to buy the really expensive 3rd tier cards that give a lot of victory points, or are you slowly progressing over 1st and 2nd tier and maybe not even buy a single 3rd tier card, or are you trying to get only the 1st tier cards and a lot of them to get convince some of the lords to get to your side and get victory points that way? It's a very silent game in terms of everybody's looking at the cards and
the only thing you hear is the click 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 that everybody produces when they play with poker chips in their hand, and everybody does, at least everybody that we played with, when they think there's like click 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 click, like when you wear a ring or something, 1 poker chip is enough to make funny noises, and that's the onny thing that you hear. Maybe a grump once or twice where you say, yeah, I wanted to buy that card, which happened the last time twice for me, and the games before it happened a lot for you.
Yeah, and that's the only interaction you get between players, or the only communication you get between players. So you can either buy a card away from someone because you see, if they get that card, they'll get the next lord, or they're trying to go that direction. It is not very interactive. I like it for actually as thinky as it is in terms of similar to deck building games. I like it because you could actually do something else by playing this. So you have some poker chips to hold in your hand, play around. You could then talk with other people while playing the game, but not necessarily talking about the game. So I actually enjoyed that game more by thinking less about it in a really I want to win strategic environment. It's more like I can buy this and then that, and then I lost this round. Let's play the next one. And it's like I like that you can play it in this sort of light environment. I think it's easy to understand even for kids, so it should appeal to families as well. It's also nice to have these poker chips
they're really
to hold them. And as I said, and as I mentioned with the other reviews, saying there's nothing new or nothing different that
but
Splendor is doing.
somehow the combinations of all the mechanics that existed already, it's just nice. Yeah, it's not overwhelming. It's not too simple. It's just nice. And like I said, the parts of the games, like the cards, the lords, and the poker chips, they're really high.
The components are
really well done. The artwork is not too extravagant, but it's clean and well done. The chips are awesome. And you can play it on a small surface. Like, you don't have to move or clean up the whole living room just to put a board in. It's nice.
But having said that, all of those three nominees, there's none of them really gets me excited to play. So they're all. It's like, yeah, that's nice. I guess we can.
It's fun. It's cool. It's a nice way to spend time, but they're not. I don't get competitive with them, like really, really competitive.
I don't. Well, you don't have to. I mean, Hanabi is also not a game where you're getting competitive.
No, but they're all not co-op games, so actually you should be competitive with them. But I don't. It's just a mild form of being competitive. Like, it's totally cool to win Splendor, but it's fine if I just have fun and get as close as to 15 victory points before he wins the game. That's totally fine, but there's other games where I'm pissed off when we don't win. And that's, funny enough, the next 3 games, which are all co-op games. And if we lose them, I'm totally pissed. I'm very competitive there.
Just going back to what I want to say. So considering that we know that Love Letter and Rampage were both on the list, I think both of them are stronger contenders for a game of the year than the other 3. At least Love Letter. I know some people say, it's
totally
it's
simple,
way too much overexposure, and there's apparently variants coming out. There's the Munchkin version called Loot Letter coming out, and
I would love to have it with Pokemon. I told one of our very good friends yesterday who lost against the girlfriend of his dad big time yesterday and was cursing pretty badly. He actually FaceTimed me so that I could see his going under. And the girlfriend of his dad, she was having such a nice smile on his face, like, oh, Lucas, you're gonna win next time. It's like, don't worry. And he was like, because he didn't win forever. in Love Letter. And I said, you know what, when we play it with Pokemon and Anton, like Psyduck comes with his migraine. I
don't know.
I think Psyduck is the princess in that game because he's having such a migraine.
For us, I don't
and
know
he,
how is it.
he really liked that idea, by the way.
The princess in a Pokemon environment. What's the name? The Pokemon who sings that gets everybody asleep.
Yeah.
Or the small egg that never in the TV series that never evolves into something useful. That's just hey, carrot is around. It's looking not cute and. Well, by the way, my Pokemon knowledge is like 10 years ago or even
more. I was 16, so
we have favorites.
Psyduck.
Psyduck is
and Pikachu.
Favorite. Pikachu is all right.
Overrated,
but
my shoes are cool.
Psyduck is the thinking man's Pokemon.
Yeah. But Pika Pika is cool, like with the joke. Did you throw a hamster at me? You have to tell it. It's awesome. I really loved it. I can't get enough of that picture in my head.
So it's a dumb joke that got around as a picture meme, which just says in a police control, someone says, "Hey, can you show me your driver's license?" And then the other one responds with, "Go Pikachu, Thunderbolt!" And the policeman says, "Did you just throw a hamster at my face?" It's funny just, the first 50 times.
I think I just wonder if the policeman would keep a straight face if you obviously have a drunk person driving there and you want to have their driver's license and throw a small hamster and you Pikachu Thunderbolt. If I would be the police girl, I couldn't keep a straight face. It's just hilarious. But I also love the shoes. Like my shoes. Anyways, so we're drifting off.